Thanks very much, Riv. I want to welcome Glebe and Bjergsen to the desk. You guys both added this year to the roster, actually. Seems you guys are improving over time. So, 50-minute game. Pretty close overall. Glebe, why aren't you flashing in front of hooks to save Turtle?
I don't know, man. Like, our...
It's a tricky game.
Yeah.
It's a tricky game. I mean, talk to me a little bit about how you guys were coming back after you pretty much had control and then ended up losing a little bit of control of the game. How was your talking to the team?
Okay, so we had pretty good control early, and then we went a little bit too far up, and they did a really good job punishing us for mispositioning, and then they won a team fight like pretty decisively. They got 2 Barons in a row, and we're getting back like into the game. But basically, we just needed to keep cool and like reset at that point because our comp was a lot stronger at fighting 5v5, and they were almost all AD. So as long as we were able to just group up and keep Twitch alive, or even if Twitch didn't live, Soraka and everyone else did so much consistent magic damage that we could just win team fights together.
And so did you know that really coming in? Like, because it seemed like after about 20 minutes in, you guys had control. A lot of the turrets were down, and you took the game pretty slowly. There weren't any like really long, prolonged sieges. It seemed to be around Baron. Did you know that like super late game, your team fights would carry you?
Yeah, when we picked Soraka and Twitch, we were just going for like late game team fights. Twitch is really, really bad at sieging turrets, so with that kind of pick, we just had to go for team fights and just get vision control around objectives, because if we walked up to try to take a tower, it just puts Twitch in a really vulnerable position.
Yeah, and there was a lot of vulnerable Twitch in that game. Special was getting a little bit of revenge every time we'd hook Wild Turtle. Bjergsen, I saw you smile a lot about that. It's strange with all the pressure on the new guys, amazing, and Glebe as well. It was Turtle actually getting caught. Just give me your thoughts on the game.
I think it puts of course not just as much, but it also puts a lot of pressure on the old players because we have a new roster. We need to prove ourselves. We need to be able to step it up. We're all, Darius, Turtle, and I are all feeling a lot of pressure too, and we really want to show the new guys, show the fans that our new lineup is just as good, and we can continue to improve with this new lineup.
And I kind of have a personal curiosity because I've had this matchup discussion with a lot of players. The Soraka versus Yasuo. I've heard Skara call it a counter for Soraka. I've heard Boy say Yasuo does. How do you see the matchup? Because you had a good time with Soraka.
It's such a strange matchup because I just feel like Yasuo is just pretty much useless against Soraka in team fights because I think it's even a 3-second silence. And Yasuo's a very spammy champion. His Q is really his main damage source. And if he can't cast out while silence, his damage just goes down by a lot. And you can heal the target that he's damaging, giving him like 130 armor or something. So I feel like in lane, it's fairly even. Yasuo with ganks can definitely set up ganks on Soraka because he's so mobile and he can set up the knock-up into an ult. But I feel like in team fights, Yasuo just can't really do much against Soraka.
Yeah, notice you actually were managing to silence him before he would ever get to ult. There was one, he got like a 4-man knock-up on you guys, and as he dashes in, it's like, well, you're silenced, and you guys all landed before he got to ulti. So that worked really well for you guys. Let's actually break down into a couple of replays, because you guys had a bunch of really fun team fights. The first one, it's about 35 minutes into the game, if we can pull that one up on the screen. Mid lane, pretty explosive battle. This one does work well for you guys, if one of you wants to walk me through it.
Yeah, sure. Right now, we're pretty much in a position where we say if Darius gets hooked, we'll still be able to win the fight. We get a lot of damage on Expression and the root, most importantly. Yasuo gets a knock-up on me, and I don't know, they just focus me really hard. And I managed to stay alive for a long time, which just lets Turtle do damage. So this is one of the fights where they focus me instead. They did get a lot of good CCs on me and stuff like that, but Soraka is really hard to focus. And that's why Soraka is such a strong champion, is that even if you focus her, she'll still be really useful and take a long time to kill.
And I've actually had a lot of curiosity with Odd One and X Special departing from the team, how the shot calling is actually coming out. Glebe, I see you talking a lot, at least in the player games. Were you setting up anything vocally before that fight?
Well, before, we were just like reminding each other what we need to do in fights, like what targets we need to protect, what we should be doing. Like when we have Soraka and Twitch, we can basically just kite back and have Soraka and Twitch shred everyone's MR and kill everybody. And just like reminding everyone what to do in the fights and make sure we know what we're doing so we go in like with a plan.
And then when the fight happens, is there a primary shot caller or is it all just the groundwork you've laid beforehand?
When we're actually fighting, a lot of people are talking. I'd say it's mostly Bjergsen, me, and Amazing right now, but everyone contributes, I think, a lot.
Awesome.
And actually, speaking of, you said everyone doing the right thing in team fights. I noticed with that being a good battle, the one we just saw, where Turtle was killing everyone, what's your job as a support to keep him alive and keep him on the right targets?
When you're playing with Twitch, as a support, you usually just want to stand next to him and make sure he can get auto attacks off on anyone. Once he pops his ult, he can completely just kill a whole team. So if you're a support like Thresh or Zyra or anyone with AoE CC, you just want to lock down the people trying to get to Twitch and make sure he can sit back and get his auto attacks off with his ult.
Okay. Well, we actually have one more replay. Actually, we want to have you guys walk us through. It's about 46 minutes into the game. Another team fight that you guys win. Glebe, if you want to take this one.
All right. So we're just sitting mid right now, and then Voyboy jumps into us. He goes on me and Bjergsen, and before I die, I'm able to get my ult off. So even though I instantly die, Twitch is alive in the back, and he lives for a really long time before he actually dies. So he's able to get a ton of damage off in their backline. And even though he falls down, Dyrus and Amazing were able to clean up Cop, and from that point, we just finish off Xpecial and win the fight.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a pretty good understanding of your overall team fight strengths right there, and that was the silence Bjergsen was talking about right onto Yasuo. Was that probably the final turning point in the game when you guys knew you had it?
I would say so, yeah. Because after that, we forced them to have a lot of waves coming towards their base, and we also killed an inhibitor, I believe. And then they can't really defend the Baron, because we did kill Kha'Zix, but even if Kha'Zix was alone, they were going to have a really hard time defending Baron with all the waves and inhibitor or super creeps running towards their base. So I feel like that's the point where we actually were like, I think we can't throw it again. I think we're good.
Yeah.
It's been a tough first 2 games. You guys had a rough time against Cloud9 yesterday. Tough win over Curse here. With the new players, it's really hard for you guys to kind of gel. On a scale of 1 to 10, how gelled would you guys say you are right now for your maximum potential?
Gel, I guess, is like how good we feel.
Yeah,
your synergy.
How's your synergy doing? On a
I
scale
feel
of 1
like
to 10.
our synergy is pretty good. Especially me and Amazing have pretty good synergy already. I call for a lot of counter ganks, and he's usually there. If we didn't really happen as much this game, but usually in scrims we do really well together. And I feel like the team is just mashes really well overall. And we do a lot of things as a team to keep up the synergy, and we like go to the beach and stuff like that to like stay. Because the more you're friends, the more your synergy is gonna prove in game.
Glebe, how's you and Turtle?
We've been getting along really well. We've been dueling a lot, and then as like a duo lane, we just need to keep playing together and keep getting better, but things are going really well.
All right, well, since you're here, guys, congratulations on your win. Thank you for your time. We'll be seeing you guys play 2 more games, both today and tomorrow. But we've got more stuff to do. We've only just scratched the surface of our games today. After the break, we'll jump into our next match between the 2